All right, Samaria. So, fumble of the week this week is going to professional basketball coaches up in Indiana. Both of them, all right? Now, first up is Pacers coach Rick Carlisle, who blew game one of the Eastern Conference Finals by not calling a timeout on an inbounds play, which led to a turnover and game time 3 by Jaylen Brown. For the record, he should have instructed his team to foul. He didn't. It is what it is. But he did have a chance to redeem himself in the eventual closeout game 4, but instead allowed Andrew Nembhard to go 1-on-4 for a chance to tie the game. And listen, I like Nembhard. He has been hooping all series, but he got plucked like a baby chicken by Jrue Holiday, and that was the end of the game and essentially the series. Granted, the Pacers were in game 4 without Tyrese Halliburton, but I just expect a little bit more from a championship-winning coach. And family, that is what Rick Carlisle is. Now, the other coach up in Indiana that is fumbling the bag is Indiana's Christie Sides. Fam, somebody in the WNBA needs to intervene and get her ass up out of there ASAP because she is messing up the cash cow. Her post-game comments, Samaria, routinely have a little drizzle of hater on top of them, and I don't really use that word too often, but I feel like there should never be a game in which Caitlin Clark shoots anything less than 18 shots, right? Unless she's being triple teamed. I mean, the Fever are garbage. But your job now, fam, is to coach Caitlin Clark's talents. Any system that you had in place before does not matter because that's the system that got you the number 1 overall pick the last 2 years. So that's out the window. You've now changed Caitlin Clark's pregame warm-up to focus on mid-range jump shots? Like, are you okay, Christie Sides? Listen, if your team is not going to be Caitlin Clark-centric, then prepare to be on the unemployment line. I just don't understand what she's doing up there in Indiana, Samaria, and those are the people who get fumble of the week for me.
And actually, you can throw in Hoosiers head coach Mike Woodson in there too.
Nah, leave Mike out of this. I like Mike.
But no, oddly enough, I kind of feel bad for Christy because
what?
I do because I feel like obviously they've been tanking, and I think that's coming from front office. Executives are telling them to tank so they can get, that's what I think, so they can get these number 1 picks, but then they're not doing anything with them. And then I also see that it's going to take them a little bit to kind of get adjusted. We see Aaliyah Boston kind of struggling to get adjusted with maybe the addition of Caitlin Clark. I'm not really sure what's going on.
But there's a classy way to tank. The classy way to tank is to let Caitlin Clark be Caitlin Clark. Don't try to change her game and tell her she needs to shoot more mid-range jump shots. That is not what fans want to see when they watch Caitlin Clark play basketball, right? Like the best way to tank, I feel like, is to just put the ball in your number 1 draft pick's hand and just see what happens from there. We saw it happen 2 seasons ago with the Houston Rockets, right? Jalen Green, they just put the ball in his hands, let him do whatever he wanted on the court, and now the Houston Rockets are actually quite formidable, right? Next year we expect them to be a playoff team. I don't like what Christie Sides has been saying about Caitlin Clark. I don't like the way that she's been pulling her out of rotations in critical moments of games. I just don't understand her strategy at all. It's actually quite frustrating to watch as a fan of the WNBA and Caitlin Clark.
Yeah. Do you feel like maybe Christy feels obligated to share some of the playing time or limelight with some of her other players that have been there?
Samaria, there is one Caitlin Clark, okay? You have a chance to attach yourself, to tie yourself at the hip to a generational talent who is completely changing people's interest in the league. Do not pull her out when she has 30 points, okay, in a closeout situation and put her back in with 2 minutes left. It's just not what fans are wanting to tune into. It's not why people are paying prices to pay league pass prices for the WNBA. This is not what people want to see. This is not what the WNBA needs, okay? Play the girl, let her do whatever she wants to do, let her shoot long ass threes, and let that be that.
Okay. I'm devil's advocate. I'm going to stop playing devil's advocate. She's not that great. Sorry, Christy.